Hello, Aries. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Princess of Cups. This is the dreamer, right? And you're not the only one. This is a card of a very rich imagination. This is a card that is still kind of feels like we're a kid again and all of our dreams could still come true, you know? It's such a wonderful feeling. I remember, being a kid and still to this day, as I'm falling asleep at night, to just sort of imagine myself in all of these different worlds, all of these different energies. And sometimes I used to think that, when I would get in my bed at night, it would be a little submarine that was traveling through the ocean or a spaceship or, I always had these kind, and there I'm sure there's some kind of psychoanalytic unconscious reason why I always put myself in an isolated vehicle of transportation, right? Sometimes it was spaceship or submarine, that sort of thing. But anyway, this is that card that kind of says when you close your eyes, you see an entire world, an infinite possibility, right? A really strong imagination. And I think also you're somebody that is still aware of that childlike, fantasy or the sense of possibility in life. That everything is still possible for you. So I feel like you're dreaming again. I feel like you might even be a lucid dreamer, or you've gotten very close to that sort of thing. I feel like this card is telling you to start writing your dreams down if you don't already. Not just your dreams, though. Your fantasies, your daydreams, as well as your night dreams. Yeah. I feel like you're somebody with a lot of creativity. You might even be an artist, or you might not consider yourself an artist with air quotes, but I feel that you like to add a creative touch to everything you do. Yeah. Even if you're not like a master at anything, you can be, right? I feel like you have an artistic sensibility. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. As you may have noticed, my voice is a little bit haggard today, right? A little bit hoarse. I'm a little under the weather, so please bear with me. I don't usually sound like this. Okay. And I may hit the cough button a couple of times today. Our next card is that devil energy. Oh, a 6 of Pentacles. A 7 of Pentacles in the past. But the Art or Temperance card up above you. And before you is the Queen of Wands. Well, to me, that's lovely, right? Because it kind of feels like our earth of water is becoming water of fire. I feel like you're getting sort of, you're getting lit up right now. You're getting fired up about a new dream, a new feeling. It's like suddenly there's this desire in you. And you want to go and do this thing. It's the arousal of this passion. Yeah. And I think that, it may be something that you've perhaps tried something similar before. And, the 7 of Pentacles there. I don't think that it's always worked out every time. But this is not deterring you. It's almost like I don't even want to call it a failure, but that's the key word of the card, right? Failure. But the lack of success in the past is almost making you like more hungry. Yeah. I like the cards that we see here. All right, sorry about that. The Six of Pentacles underneath, I think, is also a very good card because it shows that you are very much aware of your own talents, that you know that you are capable of succeeding. And I think it's really just a matter of the right connections, the right timing, the right confirmations from Spirit. It's kind of like if you do the hard work, right? If Spirit gives you a little bit of luck and we get a little bit of the, ideal conditions, you're going to do the rest. Your hard work is going to pay off, and you know that. And so you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You got this devil energy. This is never quitting energy. This is never giving up energy. Yeah. But if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's look at the rest of our cards, and then we'll get into the details. Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Oh, another court card, a Prince of Wands, and a Three of Swords. Well, it's okay to have 3, 3, and 3, right? I think 333 is going to be a very important number for you. I think it, first of all, is a warning to not get too wrapped up in overthinking it. Don't get so connected with the past, right? Because the Three of Swords is the card of the memory, the function of memory. Understanding that what we entertain in our thoughts, what we attach to, what we experience mentally or psychically, is going to be our reality, right? So if you connect your function of memory to this in the past, it too intensively, this is going to be your reality, right? Rather, aim your mental energy at the image of success and imagine that and dream that and hold that vision in your imagination. Because whatever, if you can imagine it, it can become reality. But it's not just a matter of having the images, but of really focusing on them and the power of your concentration. And that's what we see here with the Prince of Wands, is your ability to really concentrate on the correct images, because our mind will wander and we'll end up back in that Seven of Pentacles energy, and we'll be reliving our past mistakes, which is detrimental to our progress. Okay, it's important that you learn from your past mistakes, but don't linger there, you see. Well, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is going to be a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right here. We're going to put Belschnickel right on top. Cheer or fear. Belschnickel is here. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, okay? But it will tie everything together, and it's going to give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction, of course, for that card, you can put that in the comments down below. I'm just scooching over our guardians here because Bob Ross's shift is done. And, Belschnickel is our new addition. My wife got that for me, sort of an early holiday present, and I like it very much. Now, looking around the room here, we do see some major arcana, don't we? We see the Devil card and the Art or Temperance card. We have two Sagittarius power cards actually here today, so I would recommend that you watch the very last Sagittarius reading that we did, and then watch the one that's coming here in a couple days, after this reading. Because the Sagittarius seems like a pretty good influence in your life right now. Maybe you have a Sagittarius person in your life that is a factor in something that you are going to be starting, something that you feel fired up about. May involve the Sagittarius person. It could be that you have a strong Sagittarius placement in your chart. Okay. But anyway, the idea there, I think, is that when you get your sights set on something, you go straight toward that thing, right? And that's part of our driving force of this devil energy. And it's going to be a bit of a pressure cooker situation. It's going to be a challenge, right? It's going to be stressful. right? But the way I see the Temperance card in relation to our Seven of Pentacles is that we are learning from our past mistakes, and that our past mistakes, rather than weaken us, right, they are strengthening you. And they are creating in you this unstoppable force. And so it's kind of like the failures or the defeats in life are necessary, as long as we get back up. And every time we get back up, we're getting up a little stronger, a little better, a little faster, right? And I think that's true in any kind of endeavor, whether it's a sport, whether it's a business type of thing, whether it is personal development, spiritual development, whatever it is. If we get knocked down, we get up again. We've overcome that challenge, and we're just that much stronger now, right? Every time you lift the weight up off the floor, your arm is getting stronger, you know. So I like our major arcana energies. I think that it shows, no matter what happens, Aries, you're never going to quit. You're never going to give up on your dream, right? Then we've got, obviously, fire. We've got some water here. We've got a little bit of air up here. And, of course, we have our earth, and earth. The 3 earth cards, right? And it's really interesting with the earth cards, too, because the failure and the success requires that you understand what went wrong here and apply it to what is going to go right here. So we have to strengthen our strengths, use our strengths, because those are the things that are going to get you the furthest along, right? Yeah, it's kind of like when you're taking a test and you're being told to answer all the easy questions first, right? And then you work on the hard stuff. Well, everybody says, well, you've got to take your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. You got to use your weaknesses, strength, build them up into strengths, right? Yes, that's true. But in a case like this, you also want to know what you're good at. You want to know what your strengths really are and use those, while at the same time developing the weaknesses into more strength. But first, I think, use your strengths. Use your skills and talents. Use what you're good at. Okay? And I think that's part of our 3 of Pentacles here in the environment. Knowing what you're good at. Knowing what strengths you have. And I kind of feel that this is, with the Queen of Wands here, this is you using your strengths, right? To manifest, to make some progress with this dream of yours. Yeah, this dream of yours. So these 2 cards together now, Princess of Cups and the Devil. You desire something. There's something in life you want, right? And it may have seemed like a fantasy. It may seem like it's a kind of a long shot, or it's a distant dream, or it's just a fantasy. That's okay. The more outlandish, the better. Again, I apologize for my voice. It didn't really last very long, did it? My wife told me, she says, take a day off. You're going to lose your voice. It's okay to take a day off. And I just said, no. I said, if I have to croak my way through it, I'm going to do it. It's just a kind of a chess thing I got going on. But anyway, you have this devil energy, which is pursuing the satisfaction of this desire. It's a desire for love, for money, for success, for community, for being of service, for satisfaction, life's purpose. It could be a spiritual desire, right? You want something. You need something. It's not even a want. There's something that you really need in your life. And I think the more you dream about it, the more you direct your thoughts toward it, direct your imagination toward it, the more real it becomes, the more fired up you get, this is the combination that really creates that fiery ambition, that creates this kind of confidence and the strength of this card. It's as if the Sagittarius energy, the arrow, right? It is as if your arrow is just gaining speed. It's shot from a bow, but instead of slowing down and sort of coming down like that, it's building up speed as it goes, right? So I'm very curious about the Sagittarius connection for you. But this is the means of doing that. We have this desire, and the more we want it, the more we're putting in the work to get it. And we keep having to circle back to this desire, to remind ourselves of what we want. It's kind of like you're getting so, you're salivating. You're like, I can taste it now. I'm getting so close. And then we keep thinking about it, and it's like Pavlov's dog. The more we get that sort of the stimulus, which I think is us thinking about, picturing the results of our work, of us attaining the goal that we're after, the more fired up we get, the more hungry we feel, right? So we're sort of, we're modifying our own behavior psychologically, but I think it's magic, right? I think this is the way that we really create this unbreakable will to achieve whatever this goal is. Now, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a goal for a family. Maybe it's a goal for the business or for physical health or mental health. It could be anything, right? All sorts of stuff. And the Six of Pentacles underneath everything. This is the card of material success. This is the card that says you know what you're capable of. You know what your strengths are. You know that this is something that is worth achieving. You're the kind of person, I think, that you like to work by yourself, don't you? You're kind of the solitary Aries person. I think that you typically work alone because you feel like you're more efficient that way. You're also somebody that can work very, very well with a group when you need to. As long as that group is kind of hungry for the same things, right? As long as you're all chasing the same dream, we can all work together. I think if the other people can match your energy, your fire, your enthusiasm, then I think you work very well with other people. I think what you don't like, really, that puts you at odds with the group are people that they seem to be lacking in the work ethic, maybe, right, that you have. That they're just not as, they're not as awake. It's like, come on, you haven't had your coffee yet, or what's wrong with you? Where's the vibrant, vital zest? Where's the robustness in this situation? And so typically you tend to work with yourself or with very select few people that really have the same kind of vibe. You want someone that is going to really, match you in your energy so that the two of you can kind of, motivate each other. Yeah, that's the perfect team for you, I think, is a select few people where the energy is very high. And so there's this motivation that's just like bouncing around the room, and everybody's getting more and more ambitious, more and more fired up. Yeah. Very high enthusiasm. Yeah. This also, to me, feels like it's the vision, it's the picture of what the success of this desire would look like. What is the perfect outcome for you here? You need to think about that. It's underneath the surface. Maybe you haven't visited this question in a while. This dream that you have, this feeling that you have, that is making you want to go forward with this strength and kind of enter the pressure cooker and do the hard work and use your strengths and get it done, or to live that kind of life. I don't even know if it's I don't know if it's a goal necessarily, or if it's something that you want to be involved with. I don't know if there's a clear destination, is what I'm saying. And maybe the Six of Pentacles is you asking yourself, what is the destination? But I feel like more than likely this is you asking yourself, what would success look like to me? It doesn't have to be a finished product. It doesn't have to be an end result. But what would it look like? Would it be you as part of a team working for this company doing that good work? Whatever it might, living that life, right? Not necessarily a final state or a product. Yeah. This could be like just, having the family, having the certain, having whatever that means to you, right? Kind of having that in your life and living that life. This could be, it could very much be related to health. What would your perfect health look like? What would it mean to you to feel like my dream is now realizing itself? That it's now a living thing, right? It's kind of like, for me, I maybe need to drop out 10 pounds or 20 pounds. I want to get my blood pressure maybe under better control. So, that'd be part of mine, right? I would like to, I'd like to live a lifestyle where I've got more cardiovascular health kind of going on, right? I have this this kind of goal, this health-related goal of getting back into my breathing exercises. Obviously, I need to, right? I used to be able to hold my breath for 3.5 minutes, and now I could barely do a minute, right? So I kind of want to get back to that, get back to the focus on my breath work as part of my larger meditative practice. So there's a lot of these little goals that kind of go into this too, right? But it's this overall perfect picture of like a healthy me, So I think you need to connect with that vision too in yourself, whether this is health or wealth, fitness or finances, whether it's something creative or, family oriented, if it's business, if it's money, whatever it is. I think it's important that you connect with this vision because this is the symbol. This is the scenario into which you must place yourself as often as possible in every moment of downtime that you have. It's important that you, especially when you find that your thoughts are wandering, bring it back to whatever this vision is, and maybe this can be a little bit of sigil magic, right? That you take this vision or this scenario that you imagine. For me, it's okay. It's a little bit of weight loss, cardiovascular health, the breathing stuff, getting a more active lifestyle and, healthy eating habits and all this kind of stuff, and having the physical activity, starting some kind of physical training or whatever it might be. Blood pressure control, the markers of the physical success. Maybe I would try to simplify that very vivid and complex picture down into a symbol. And that symbol, I would put it on a piece of paper. I would tattoo it in my heart. I would tattoo it in my brain, right? And I would live with it. Every chance I got, I would be focusing on that symbol. Especially when the mind would wander, we could bring it back to that symbol, that sigil, right? And then, of course, it seeps into our unconscious, and we may forget about it over time. It's kind of like you put it in your wallet, and it's in there. It's in there. You don't really have to look at it every day. It's just there, working its magic, But that's a different subject anyway. I think that this is literally you placing yourself in this scenario. Make it as real as possible. The visualization work. But it's not just sight. You have to hear the sounds, smell the smells, feel the feels, right, of whatever situation it is. What would success look like, feel like, taste like, smell like? And anytime your mind wanders, bring it back to that situation. Feel as if you are really there. Okay. And now the Seven of Pentacles back here, the failures. I think all of the times in your life that you have not succeeded in your goal are learning experiences. So it's important that we learn the lessons from those. But this is a very dangerous place. We put our mind there, and we're searching for very specific things, and then we have to get out. We don't want to linger here. Okay? The more we linger here, the more we're starting to magnetize ourselves toward more of the same. Okay? So we have to learn the lessons from the past, but we do not want to linger in the past. And the Three of Swords is understanding the function of the mind in that way. Understanding the power of the mind, just as you have the power of the heart and the power of your physical activity, skills, and talents, right? We have the 333. And, excuse me, sorry about that. I didn't have time to hit the cough button. We have the 3, 3, and 3, which together, properly functioning, creates a what? A 9, right? 3, 6, 9. 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. Maybe not so much the 9 of Swords, but the 9 of Swords too. It's a very potent combination. If everything is working well, we get the 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. If things are a little bit dysfunctional with our 333, right, our heart, our mind, and our body, if they are not functioning properly or in harmony, then we may get 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords. Okay. Anyway, the 7 of Pentacles is those moments of failure or defeat, or the lack of success. Right. We have to learn from those. Yeah. And then we have to understand what those situations have taught us about our weaknesses, so that we can turn those weaknesses into strengths, so that we can work harder to overcome whatever those mistakes were. Sometimes it's a mistake that we can correct. We can get stronger in that way. Other times it's something that's just inherent in us, and I can't really change that. Maybe I was born with very narrow renal blood vessels, so I will always have high blood pressure, right? I can't change that. So perhaps then I have to understand what I can do to compensate for those, I don't even want to call them weaknesses, but for those facts of physiology. Yeah. What I can do to sort of make up for that. Well, maybe I got to just be extra mindful of my salt intake and my other cardiovascular health and this sort of thing. Maybe those strengths have to really be pushed to overcome what is just a sort of, an unchangeable fact of my body, right? Or my genetics, or whatever you want to call it. But I think that this is very important too, because if we have the 7 and the 6 here, we could look at the 7 as being understanding what our weaknesses are. The 6 is understanding what our strengths are. And we focus on those strengths because those are the things that are going to bring you the furthest along. We're going to gain the most distance, right? And I don't feel that there's so much a sense of urgency here for you, but I don't feel that you want to really linger either. So it's important that we remember our strengths. And if this is under the surface, I feel like lately you've been thinking more about your weaknesses and about your failures than you have about your strengths and your successes. Those times where you really kicked some ass. What did you do? Learn the lessons from those occasions too. What did you do right? We're always thinking our past, all the times I failed. What did I do wrong? Let me learn from those mistakes. And that's good. But if that's all we're doing, that's pretty depressing, right? What about those times that you did things right? Right? And there probably are, there might be many more failures than successes in your life, and that's okay. There certainly are in mine. I've fallen down a lot of times, right? We have to try to focus on what we've done right. Learn from those situations. Learn from those successes so that we understand what we're good at and what we're really strong with, what areas of life, what skills, talents, that sort of thing. Where do your strengths really, really lie? Because this is the combination, I think these two, the understanding that comes from both of these, that's going to propel you toward the stature of this Queen of Wands. And this is somebody, I'm so sorry for my voice today. I'm coughing like a, you know what? I really should be in bed probably. The Queen of Wands is somebody that is utilizing their strengths, right? But very aware of their weaknesses. There's fire here, and there's also water. So it's a confidence, it's a stature. This is someone larger than life, right? But also there's a humility in there because it's saying, hey, you know what? I know that I'm capable of messing up. I make mistakes. I'm fallible. I got flaws, you know. I got things I'm working on, right? It doesn't feel as if we are perfect. This is the card that is trying to utilize the strengths in the best way possible to make progress here, to live the life that you're trying to live, while at the same time being very aware that I have to keep working on myself. There's always more to do, you know. Now, I'm really strongly feeling that there's a Sagittarius person in your life. We have a lot of court cards here too today. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It didn't even seem like there were that many, but no, there. Oh, actually, that's not one. 1, 2, 3. My mistake. But another human figure, right? So a lot of human figures kind of in the mix here. So when we have 3 or more court cards, I start to feel like, okay, it's like a group of people with you. It's like a family thing, or there's friends, or there's coworkers. Maybe a Sagittarius person. It may be a fire sign person in your life. I'm kind of seeing somebody older than you. I don't know their relationship to you, though, but it feels like somebody a little bit older, right? Let's get to the art or temperance card, because this is kind of like we're tempering our weaknesses with our strengths, right? That the strengths are so strong that we're kind of pulling the weaknesses up a little bit higher, right? What if we're tempering our strengths with our weaknesses? What if our weaknesses are the central focus and they're sort of dragging down the strengths, right? It could work either way. It depends on the mind. It depends on what you're focusing your energy on. And that's the 3 of Swords, the function of your mind, of your memory. And if we're focused too much on the past, reliving that 7 of Pentacles, then our weaknesses are going to siphon. It's like a gradient. Is that what it's called? Like a pressure gradient or a saturation gradient or a temperature gradient, where an area of lower pressure or whatever, right? Lower concentration will kind of suck the energy from the higher concentration in order to create a balance. So, in other words, your weaknesses are going to sort of suck energy from your strengths until there's a balance. Or we could go the other way. We could try to reverse this, physiological process. And the strengths can try to suck energy from the weaknesses until there's a balance up here. And we're sort of lifting them up. And I know that doesn't quite make much sense logically, but you get the idea. If we're focused on the negative, we're bringing down all the strong positive stuff. If we focus on the positive, we're building up the weaknesses, and there's going to be more balance that way, right? So we have to focus on our strengths, focus on the positive outcome we want, and that's going to help us to strengthen the weaknesses. Okay, I hope that makes some kind of sense. And this is really this is that energy. This is that gradient kind of energy. Yeah. This is also the situations into which you place yourself, right? Challenging yourself. This is the pressure cooker. This is you jumping into the fire, doing the difficult thing. challenging yourself. And if you are jumping into a really intense situation, are you going to try to use your weakest tools, your weakest skills, right, to help strengthen those weakest tools? Yeah, but this is like a life or death situation. This is like, I don't know, you're in your, this is the championship game. Are you going to put your weakest players in, right, so that they can get some experience and sort of strengthen, get better? Or is this the kind of game, the championship game, you're going to give it your best players because you want to win, right? And so to me, it has that kind of seriousness to it. There's a gravitas here. You want to put in your best players. Yeah. And maybe you are part of a team. And this is that kind of a situation for you. Maybe literally you're having to assign tasks or roles to different people in your life. Well, you're going to use the best players for the right job, right? Because you can't put your weakest people here. It will not work out well for anybody, right? So now, path of the serpent, we have the 3 of cups. You understand the joy, the satisfaction of life. Your heart's in the right place, okay? I know we spent a long time on the path of the dove. I'm sorry about that. Lost track of time here. The general energy with the 3. Now, we have all these 3s, right? So it's kind of like if your desires are in the right place, right, and your mind is in the right place, your body is going to sort of follow suit. Yeah. Whatever your heart and your mind are focused on, that's what your body's going to do. And you may not even notice it, right? Your heart and your mind are focused on the positive, the strong, the successful. Your body's going to do those things, and we're going to start attracting all those qualities to us. But if your mind is focused on the 7 of Pentacles, the failures, the mistakes, the weaknesses, the negative outcomes, right? And the heart is as well, feeling sad, feeling sorrowful about that. Then the body, without our knowledge usually, is going to begin orchestrating that outcome for you. Okay? We can look at the body as the machine, right? The heart and the mind is that little person inside of us that's controlling the machine like a cartoon, right? And if that person's pissed off, angry, frustrated, then the body's going to be moving in a very angry and frustrated way, producing more anger and frustration. Right? So if we're focused on our strengths and on the positive and on the strong, successful outcome that we want, as often as we can, that's the reality that our hands are going to mold. We're at the potter's wheel here. We're the one molding our lives. Okay? So your heart has to be in the right place. And I believe it is. Because you understand that what you desire most in life is if you have this kind of intense will or aspiration towards something, it's going to direct your life. Okay? So your heart has to know where it's pointed. And of course, with the 3 of Swords, the mind is the biggest issue, right? Because this could go either way. The 3 of Swords is usually a card of sorrow, yes, because that's usually the memory. When we're remembering things, it's either that I had something good and I miss it now because I don't have it, or I'm focused on some past trauma in life and it feels terrible now. So this is that card of reliving the past. Yeah. This could be the energy then that sort of lives the future, though. This could be that we are focusing on what we want, the outcome that we prefer, but not not dreaming about it as some future state. Imagine it is here right now. Close your eyes and feel what it would feel like if you were there right now. Okay? And we have to direct the power of the mind in that way. And then I think the body will follow suit, and we'll begin creating, we will begin molding our world like we're at the potter's wheel. Okay? And of course, the difficult thing is to do that consistently. To be focused, to always have, it's like meditation. It's very difficult to hold the concentration. The mind will wander. I'm trying to focus on the positive, trying to use my strengths. Before I know it, I'm back in that negative energy, lamenting my weaknesses, wailing over my failures. And we just bring it back, right? It's a constant effort, and this is the difficulty. In the spread, this is the difficult position of maintaining the concentration, because our minds will wander. And, we see that here with the 2, the juxtaposition of the 6 and the 7. But I think that this is going to be very successful for you. Okay? We just have to be as consistent as possible. It's not easy, right? And you will find your mind wandering. Now, the idea here is not to beat ourselves up over it, to not get mad about it, because that's just contributing to more of that same kind of negative energy. Let's bring it back and think of the positive, the strong, the successful, and allow our body to sort of express that internal energy through its works and its deeds, and how we're molding the vase out of the clay, Well, let's look at our mystery card, though. Yeah, it's getting kind of late. All right, cheer or fear. Let's see what we have here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I feel this is either going to be more Sagittarius, or it's going to be your Aries power card, right? Let's see what we have. Oh, yeah. Of course it is. It is the Emperor, your superpower card, the card that rules the sign of Aries. Because this is it. This is how you achieve your goals. You have these dreams. You have this desire, this burning passion. Direct it in the proper way, and you're unstoppable. This is a strong confirmation that you're on the right track. You're doing the right stuff. Just stay focused. Okay, stay focused. Put in your best players. Okay? Learn the lessons from the past. And that's what a good emperor would do, right? Learn from failures, but have confidence and belief in the future and the success of what you're doing. Use your strengths while also trying to lift up the weaknesses and turn them into strengths. Very strong confirmation. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Aries are on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I promise I don't always sound like this. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you.